So now we gotta go ahead and actually retrieve the data from the database. How do we do that? Now the first thing we do, and again, we're assuming here that the connection was successful and that we didn't die here. First thing we got to do is we got to create another variable. Whatever you call that, I call it SQL because it's going to be the SQL program string. So that is the command that we use to retrieve the data from the database. Now select is a SQL keyword that selects data from the database. Star means that you select everything, and then from is an indication of the table you wanted to retrieve the data from. We're going to retrieve it from the table called players. Remember, that has to be the table that you gave it, that you created in MySQL. Now that's just the SQL command. Now we actually have to send that SQL command to the database. We do that this way. We say result is equal to taking out connection from here. That's the connection you set up to connect to the database. Query, and then you pass the query string to it. Now there's a lot more you can do in the query strings. You can do filters, you can sort, you can retrieve from multiple tables, you can even insert data, update data, a whole bunch of stuff. But it's going to take us a few days to really teach you how to program in SQL. If you're really interested in that, there are a lot of online programs out there. There are database courses you can take here at the university. You can go to lynda.com subscription and take a database course. But for now, we just basically say retrieving everything, all the records, all the fields from an entire table. And that should have been successful. Now, how to know it was successful or not? Well, I got to be a little bit careful about that because there is a chance maybe I've done something wrong with this data in the table. It might not be successful. So the way I test that it's successful is like this. And again, don't forget to close the curly brace here. The way I test is like this. If the number of rows that's in the result here is greater than 0, it means I got something, got actual rows returned. So I can do something with it. Now what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to go ahead and loop through all the rows that were returned. So the looping construct always looks like this. It's always while the row that you want to retrieve is the next fetch, you do something. So basically it says if you've gotten something, let's loop, let's go one by one through every row that was retrieved. Now, of course, in this case, each row that's retrieved is one of the players. And what we're going to do is we're going to output the players. So echo, again, is what we send to the output stream, the resulting HTML. So you can put something like, we're going to put in bold face the name of the player. The dot in PHP means that you take the first string, this set of characters, and you add to that, you connect it with the next set of characters. And the next set of characters are actually going to be data we retrieve. So we're going to go to the row that we retrieved, and we're going to look for the field called pname, the player's name. Now, the name of the field is important because that's the name of the field we gave it when we created the table. So you got to make sure that pname is really what you gave it. And then we stop the boldface and we put a blank, line break, I should say. All right, and always a semicolon at the end here of the echo. Don't ever put a semicolon before a curly brace or after curly brace, all right? Only at the end of lines. So let's see if that worked. We save it. Gonna go back to our tester here and we'll run it. No, it didn't work so well. We kind of didn't get what we were looking for. All right, so somewhere along the lines I got some kind of mistake in here. So I want to make sure that I really called it pname and that it's really, it's not plus, it's dot. So that was the wrong programming language. It's plus in JavaScript, but it's dot in PHP. Let's see if that was the cause of the mistake. And it was. Well, it's not very well formatted, so first thing I'm going to do is I really got to get rid of this part right here. Let's delete that. I really only want to die, meaning exit the program if the connection failed. Otherwise, I want to continue. So let's go ahead and take a look at this again. And indeed, we got it. Perfect. So now you know how to connect to a database, like here. You know how to check if the connection was successful. You know how to execute a query on the database. And you know how to process every result row of the query. And you know how to output data to the output stream, which is resulting HTML going back to the browser. Now you're almost a PHP expert.